Look what we found. Isn't this nice? Isn't it like a 7-bay bike wash?
But more interestingly, it's Ducati versus Mv Agusta.
Yeah. Why have you got a sexy girl on yours?
Well, there's a reason for that.
I've got a bicycle.
Yeah.
Probably in case the bike breaks down. Anyway, so after the absolute trouncing that the Ducati got dished out by... Is that a drone? No. Dished out by the MV last night and yesterday at Mugello. We were arguing last night about whose bike is the best, because we're actually struggling, well I'm not struggling because I think mine's the best, to decide who the winner is of this test. Mainly because you got done for speeding and we had the whole day washed out. Yeah, but that's not the bike's fault, is it?
No, it's not. But I'm just saying, we are missing some challenges.
But that's not the bike's fault.
No.
So you can't blame the bike for that. So we come up with a few challenges and ideas about normal practicality, etc. So we're going to start off with insurance. Now, we've got quotes from Bimoto. Okay, so we're just double checking now. So 248 for the MV. 248
for the MV, 220 for the 999S.
And that's done on a generic character called like Bob, who's
Bob,
a teacher
who lives in Norwich. Yeah. Lovely, stable family. Yeah. 3-bedroom house.
He has got 3 points for speeding, though.
He has. Yeah. Not a £4,000 fine, though.
Yeah. So, and that's on the titanium cover as well.
It is.
Which includes all the Euro, which is what we have for the breakdowns, even though we haven't needed to use it just yet. And obviously you get £500 excess protection fee if you use Bimoto and say, on
40.
Anyway, enough plugs. So I lose out, I guess, by 28 quid there.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's a better bike, so no wonder, it's more desirable. And actually, coming on to desirability, the second little thing we spoke about last night was exclusivity. Now, this is quite a hard thing to quantify. I don't know if anyone's been to the website howmanyleft.com, but you can tap in the make, model of your bike, car, etc., and actually see how many were produced, sold, in the UK this is, and how many are left on the road or how many are left sawn.
I hadn't seen it. This is the first time I've seen it. And I was actually really interested because you can look at all the data right back from the first year it was sold, registered, all the way through, right up until now, and you can see how many are left licensed and, like I say, how many are sawn. So the Ducati has 59 on the road registered and 134 sawn. So I'm guessing they're museum pieces or...
Broken down.
No.
Everyone's, broken down and everyone's waiting to fix them.
They're sitting in people's living room just admiring the beauty and of course the money
to mate.
We're talking about a 15-year-old bike here, not a 10-year-old brand new bike. So, I can understand. I'm guessing, though, the MV has a few less.
Yeah, 85 in total. That's sawned and running on the road.
Yeah, because the rest are in a skip somewhere.
No, because they're exclusive. So that's one apiece.
That's one apiece. Still no further to solving this conundrum.
No.
After you. Cheers.
Grazie.
Grazie.
Well, maybe a little trip round Ducati factory in Bologna and then a little head up to Varese to go around the MV factory.
I'm looking forward to the Ducati museum because there is a museum.
Okay,
okay.
It's okay.
Oh, it's wet.
He's just been in the car wash.
Has the MV got a museum? No, didn't think so.
Doesn't need one. The whole dealership's a museum. Basically, he's just sore because the MV has won everything, smashed it yesterday, and he is in an absolute egger about it because even with his skills, the bike didn't help him yesterday. BBI2.
First up, a trip to Bologna, to the Ducati factory, and a museum brimming with classics and racing heritage.
So we are outside the Ducati factory, bringing my 999S Mono back to its home. So we're here, very fortunately, with Mr. Andrea Forni, who is the Director of R&D.
Yes, today, yes.
Now you played a big part in this project. So can you give us a bit of a rundown? How How were you involved in the 999 project?
At that time, I was the responsible of testing department.
Okay. So you tested yourself?
Yes, I tested by myself, and at that time, as responsible of testing department, I was testing the very first prototype of each single bike. So I did the same with the 888, with the 916, and with the 999, up to the maybe last time I did it was the 1098, but because after that I became responsible of overall, not only testing, but everything. But at the time of 999 I was, let me say, 100% involved in testing, so I participated to most of track testing and road testing and homologation testing and so on.
Wow, okay. And when did this project start? I mean, obviously the first bike was 2003, but when did you start breaking away from the Tamburini design, and when did you start thinking about this 999?
Oh, I don't remember exactly the time, but let me say at least 2 or 3 years before.
Really?
Yes, because this is the typical time that a new project take from the very first sketch on the paper to go into production. Sure. So I saw the Pierre Terblanche directly show me the very first sketch, and he asked me if I liked it, and I liked it. But I know that not all the people think the same, but I personally liked it, and I like this bike.
I mean, so from now, right now, I think this bike looks better now than it did back then. I mean, do you understand? I mean, because of the kind of controversy, like you said, the surrounding it, I personally liked it at the time, but now I think it looks way ahead of its time. I think it looks better now than it did 15 years ago.
I do think the same, because probably for the beginning of the 2000s, its design was a little bit too far away, and it was considered maybe a little bit futuristic. And now, after so many years, is more accepted. Yes, I agree. And also, I have to say that this bike was very successful from the racing point of view. It won 3 World Championships, and it has been one of the most victorious Ducati motorcycle in the Superbike Championship. And probably the race version of the bike was considered also a beautiful bike.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And why do you think the 999 was so successful on the road? Why is it that?
Basically, 2 things: comfort, that was better than the 916, and handling. It has a lighter handling in comparison to 916, so use it on the road was very satisfactory for normal people, for normal rider.
Okay.
And to have good performance on the track, we had to wait probably the version later. We improved the power after a couple of years, and also finally we made the air version, and the air version was also very fast on the racetrack. Yes.
So from a personal point of view, did you miss that single-sided swing arm? Did you, away from the Ducati factory, away from work, did you personally miss the looks of the single-sided swing arm?
No, I personally not.
No?
I understand that the first version of the swing arm was not so beautiful, but after a couple of years we made a second version of the swing arm. Still, it was a double-sided swing arm, but it was made of pressed sheets of aluminium instead of casting, and it looked much better. So the second version of the double-sided swing arm, in my opinion, was also a beautiful piece of mechanic.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Andrea. It's been wonderful to talk to you, and like I said, bringing this bike home back to the factory, it's kind of a nice full circle in its life. So
sure.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Ducati started with a radio.
Yeah, so the Ducati history started in 1926.
So this is the puppy bike?
Yeah.
This is the nice puppy?
This is puppy racing.
Yeah.
But still
So that's still the racing puppy?
Yeah.
That is cool.
It's
That
cool.
is so cool.
It's probably faster than your 999. Wow.
44, nice number.
44.
Or Milan.
Yeah.
So, body.
where the racing heritage starts, mate.
Mike the bike.
Like the bike.
That's quite cool. I thought
That is cool.
84.
Controlled air.
We were gonna buy those, weren't we?
We?
Yeah, Passos.
We?
Yeah.
You have trouble seeing that screen, don't you?
I like that though. I like it.
Yeah. Ah, the full smart.
GT.
It's cool.
I'd love to ride one of them. I'd love to.
Yes, a spotlight.
I agree.
That produced the road bike and
Here she is.
next Neil Olsen. Okay, by 999 in 2003.
So that was voted the most beautiful bike in the world. Did this progress that?
Yeah.
So this was voted the-
Progress, so
Yeah.
the number is about the CC.
Okay.
Okay.
And then it was on to Varese, just outside Milan, where the picturesque MV factory welcomed us with open arms.
So here we are in beautiful Varese, and check out this for a factory. This is the view you get every day. Not that everyone can see it because they're all working too hard. Anyway, I've got Brian with me. Hello, Brian.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Technical director of Mv Agusta. Mv Agusta? Mv Augusta?
Mv Agusta.
Mv Agusta. Okay.
Agusta.
Agusta. And he's going to tell me some facts and tips and little things about this wonderful, my favourite bike I've ever owned, Mv Agusta 312 1078 RR.
Yeah, the 1078 RR was, in the story of Mv Agusta, the last version of the F4
Yeah.
before the company was purchased by Harley Davidson.
Okay.
So this bike was under development while we were in talks with Harley Davidson, and then we were purchased in August of 2008. And the F4 1078RR went into production in September of 2008, basically for 1 year before we came out with the brand new, completely revised, or let's say completely new bike, F4 1000.
Yes. Yeah. So this is the swan song of the original F4s.
This is the swan song of the original Tamburini F4,
Yeah.
because it was the last of this version F4.
Okay. And the 1078, so that's basically a bored out version of the 1000.
Of the 1000, basically they went from 76 millimeter on the bore to 79.
Okay.
And the reason they did that was not only to give more displacement, but also to have more room to put in larger valves.
Yes. And because this is radial valved as well, isn't it?
Yes.
So this is, and the only, I mean, I'm not that technical, but the only bike to have radial valve technology.
Yeah, the F4 up to today still has the radial valve for layout.
And is there a reverse crank in this as well?
No, this has the forward moving
forward crank.
crankshaft. Yeah, the
Yeah.
3-cylinder, the Mv Agusta 3 cylinders
That's the one.
are the
Yeah.
ones with the counter-rotating crankshaft.
Right. Okay. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful thing, and riding around Mugello on this was a very special feeling. And I tell you that I haven't really. You look at it and you just think nothing about this works very well as a road bike, like labouring through town. It's always a bit difficult and so highly strung. But as soon as you got it going where it should be, it was absolutely unbeatable. I loved it. Loved it. Loved every minute of it. So, so is there anything other sort of little design stories you can tell us about, or anything that you were involved with in the making of this bike?
Well, the 312 RR, the first question is why 312?
Yeah.
Why the brand? Why that model name? And the 312 denotes the top speed of the bike.
Okay.
So 312 kilometers an hour. So this bike was developed, and they were down at Nardò doing the final development testing, high-speed testing on the large oval at Nardò, and top speed testing with Fabrizio Latini, who was the head test driver at the time. Ended up going at 312 kilometers an hour for the bike.
Wow.
And when they were talking to Claudio Castiglione at the time, and the first question he asked when they were done working that day is, how fast does it go? And Fabrizio mentioned 312 kilometers an hour. That's how that model name was born.
Right, okay.
So it was born at the top speed. So this bike was developed at that time by the head of engine design, who was Andrea Goggi, who was an engineer that was with Mv Agusta for quite a long time. Started out with Mv Agusta, with Cagiva Corse, with the two-stroke GP bikes, and then took over development of this project, which was an engine that was born in Ferrari engineering.
I did read something. It's like something to do with the F190s F1 car, wasn't it? Or something?
Yeah, it was. They took, let's say, the top end of the engine from a Formula One car, and they were trying to develop that into a motorcycle engine. And the project, let's say, got to a certain point in Ferrari engineering, and then it kind of came to a stop. It was moved to Ducati, and they were actually developing this engine at that time because Cagiva, who was the owner of Mv Agusta and Ducati at that time, moved the engine development into Ducati. It kind of ran into a roadblock inside of Ducati, a little bit of internal conflict between Ducati and Mv Agusta. And at that point, Claudio said, okay, send everything up to Cagiva, to Varese, and gave Andrea Goggi the responsibility of leading up the engine development of the four-cylinder engine, which was started out at the 750, and then the 1000.
And that was in, what, 94?
Let's see, that started out in the early 94, 95, and then went into production in 1998.
Because the CRC, this is what you see randomly around the bike, because there's quite a lot of different intercompany relations going on. So that's Cagiva
Research Center. Yeah,
okay.
down in, and that's headed up by Paolo Bianchi, down in San Marino. And CRC was a company born by Massimo Tamburini.
Yes. And this is the last bike that Tamburini designed.
This is officially the last Mv Agusta that Tamburini penned. You have it.
I have it.
Yeah.
I have it.
Following up on this, the F4 starting in 2010, and all of the three-cylinder bikes since.
And that was with Adrian.
Adrian Morton. Yeah.
I know him actually. We were having a
great
chat
guy.
to him. He's a top lad. Yeah. So, and then of course the new design direction with the dragster and everything looks.
Turismo Veloce, the dragster, the Brutale.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Rivale.
So, honestly, since I came through the front door, I've been even more of an Mv Agusta fan.
Really?
Is it possible for public to come in?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Because it feels so personal here. And I think that's what it feels like with this bike. When you have it, it feels like a little personal part of your family, almost.
I was going to say, Mv Agusta doesn't really have customers, we have family.
Yeah.
And when you join the Mv Agusta family, you're a small group of people. We're always more than willing to have anybody come here and visit. We'll give them a factory tour, show them what we've got going on. You'll always see something interesting coming in and out of the parking lot.
I'm sure we will. We will. Well, on that note, actually, we can go and have a look through the factory and see if we can see any top secret videoing. Have you got an RC here? F4
I do.
RC?
I do.
Might be on the purchase list.
Yeah.
Well, I've got space. I've got space in the van.
You got your checkbook.
I've got a bank transfer.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, we'll have to get it off the Swiss police. They'll fine me €4,000. But anyway, enough about that. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is really cool. So these used to be aircraft hangars. Wow.
Oh, look at those engines.
That's nice.
Other line for the bike, you start to
Assemble.
reassemble
Yeah.
the bike.
So you have like a dyno machine, or you run all the engines up?
Not here.
Do you reckon they've got a gasket for my sump?
This is the place to get it.
It is, in fact, it probably isn't now.
Gracias.
And how many bikes do you make every one day?
3-cylinder between 45 and 48.
Okay. And then do you have like a 3-cylinder factory and then a 4-cylinder factory?
No, it's the same.
Okay.
Okay. One day we start with 3-cylinder.
Okay, so today you're making
Only
3?
3-cylinder.
Okay, I get it. Okay.
Would the F4 would have been built on one of these lines?
Yeah. All the MV bikes, 3 and 4-cylinder, were made here.
Okay.
So would my one,
Yes.
that would have been made here in this room?
Yes.
Cool.
That is cool.
There it is, mate.
That is really cool. Okay.
See,
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
we have to produce 60 bike.
Yeah.
We are missing 6 bike
Okay.
for the end of this production.
Yeah, and I suppose you make more F3 based engines now than F4s,
Yeah.
right?
Sure, yeah.
Is there going to be new F4s coming through soon? Probably. I think so. It looks so easy to make a bike in here.
Doesn't it? It's just like ding, ding, ding.
It must be like, it must have, obviously it's taken 50 years to get to this point of how the most efficient way of making it is, but it does just look so kind of nice.
But everything's pre-assembled, isn't it? You've got you know, the brake system's over there,
Right,
pre-led.
Yeah, do that,
Everything's done,
do that.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So it is literally a case of just moving the bike down.
Yeah.
Dragster RR, yeah. That's Redhead.
Einen Redhead. Oh,
Yeah.
it's German. And in simple bits, it looks so much easier to see from someone who's a knob like me.
Yeah.
It's cool that my bike was made in this room.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very cool.
Thank you very much for your time.
welcome.
It's been really
Bye.
good. Really
See you
good.
later.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Lorenzo.
Ciao.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
That
Oh my
is
god.
nice. That's beautiful.
Dragster with the Kimio wheels.
Bella.
That is absolutely,
Yeah.
that is my favourite MV.
Yeah.
That's the one I'd have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Wow. Swans and everything. You don't get that at Ducati.
no.
Well, who wins the factory tour?
Well, of course, you know, obviously being Ducati, we couldn't get to look at the factory and what goes on inside, because obviously there's
No
some
fault or...
special things going on at the moment.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is. I mean, it is a beautiful place, this, for easy. You've got the lake, you've got the sort of intimacy.
It is very intimate.
It is very, very intimate.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And the fact that your bike was, we just walked past the very spot where
It was
the
made.
bike was built. I shed a tear, I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah?
I was a little bit emotional. Yeah.
Aw. Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so looks like MV pulled it out of the bag again.
Well, in your eyes, yeah.
Oh, look at that. No, not the pumping station, but the that bike. Coming up in the final episode, it's Judgment Day, and after some unexpected trouble on the way home, we finally have a winner.